Hello my darlings, welcome to my studio. I'm Miss Darling, and for those of you who don't know, that's a nickname my daughter Swoop gave me, and so we just kept it for this channel. Anyway, we are in part 11, which I hope to be the last segment in finishing up this Amazon envelope journal. It may not. It just depends on how fast I can get through the attachment of our journal to the cover and then get on with the show and tell of both of the journals. One I did on camera in the last 10 segments, and the other one I did off camera, and I will be revealing the final outcome of that journal hopefully today. If not, it will be in part 12, but hopefully I can get it all done today. So let's get going. Okay, today we're going to be attaching the journal itself to the inside cover, and I'm going to do that the traditional way of just sewing it in place. And then I'm going to use the Midori method to attach the entire journal to the outside cover, and I'll explain more about that as we get there. For now, I'm going to remove the outside cover, and if you're going to be doing this, what you're going to need is a hole maker. I'm just going to use this little owl punch, and I have some black embroidery thread. I like to use this. It's pretty sturdy and holds up well. I'm going to cut off 3 times the height of my journal, and that will give me enough extra to make sure I can complete it properly. Cut that off. And then of course you'll need an embroidery needle that has a larger head on it than a regular sewing needle. Okay, now I have already gone ahead and marked where I'm going to put my 3 holes. If you're new to my channel, I do have an Etsy shop where I have lots of resources that can help you not only in this project but in other projects. Be sure and visit my Etsy shop. It's under the name Miss Darling Arts. I also have links in the description box below that lead you to mostly Amazon products that are also very helpful if you're going to be doing any great deal of journal making. Oh dear, I can see where I have one of the holes. I'm going to go right in there. And I'm going to have to match up again with what's on this inside cover. Use a white marking pen here on the black paper so I can actually see what I'm doing. And I'm just marking where the holes need to go to match up with the with this inside cover. Right. Now I'm just going to thread my needle. Maybe I need to get a bigger needle out. And starting from the inside hole of the journal itself, I'm going to go through that hole and then through the middle hole on the cover. And then I will come up to the top hole and go through the cover and then the journal. Then I will drop down to the bottom hole. And go through that. Pull my thread out from my needle. And now we will, so I need to pull that through a little bit more. And now we come back up through the middle. And we want to make sure that one end of the thread is on one side of the thread going down the middle. So we want one on one side of that and the other end on the other side so we can tie it off. Now before I do that, let me try to get it a little bit more evenly distributed, because I think I'm going to try and add a charm of some kind. And that's a little bit. Yeah, we're about equal length. So you want to tie it off, pull it so it's nice and taut, but not so tight that it causes it to buckle. And I'm going to tie it 3 to 4 times. And then I'm going to keep these long. I'm not going to cut them off because I'm going to add a dangle to it, but that will be a little later. All right, now I have secured the journal itself to the inner cover, and now I'm going to secure the whole thing to the outer cover, and this will be done in the Midori fastening style. Midori is a Japanese word. It actually comes from plants and leaves, the color of plants and leaves. So it means green, and also virtue, I believe, and has to do with life. Anyway, it's a Japanese style of bookbinding that allows you to remove the inside from the outer cover if you so choose. It also allows you to add other things into the journal as well if you so choose. So it's very versatile in that way, and I thought it would be perfect for this envelope style journal. Okay, first you need to make some holes again, but this time the holes are going to go into the outer cover, and so we want to position that up so it's approximately equidistant from the top to the bottom, and that's pretty good overall. And so then we're going to put 2 holes in it. In fact, I think I'm going to turn this around so that I can make sure I'm putting the holes in the center, the outer center. Sometimes if you just go ahead and put something in on one side where you think it belongs, it winds up getting skewed up on the other side. I'm going to, here's my fold, and I'm going to put a dot here. I'm about 1/4 of an inch down from the top. Why do you not want to give me some ink? So I'm about 1/4 of an inch down, and then I'm going to come down another, maybe a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch. You're going to put 4 holes, 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom, and you want them reasonably close. And you have to make sure that the second hole down in this area is not going to be too low, because it has to be situated just above the top of your inside journal. So I'm going to put a hole there and then one down here. Are you enjoying seeing me struggle? Okay, back to this. We'll try again. Well, I didn't want to take any time at all in this video to be putting these eyelets on, so I did that off camera. I think I have a video where I posted on putting eyelets on tags. Anyway, the eyelets are in, and maybe you could see it a little better on this side. There's 2 back-to-back up there and then 2 back-to-back down here. And then you will need some elastic cording. This is Mandela Crafts 2mm diameter elastic cord. And this way, by using elastic, I mean, you could use embroidery thread or some lightweight string if you wanted to, but it doesn't give you the give and take that the elastic will when you go to insert the journal, or if you want to take it out, or if you want to insert something else as well. You just have a lot more flexibility with the elastic cording. So I do recommend that. Okay, let's put one through the outer hole, one through the middle hole, and then let's run the middle one down to the middle on the other side, and then up through the outer. This way we'll be tying off the outer hole with the outer hole, and the inside is not going to have a tie. So then let's just tie this up temporarily. Now when we put the journal through, we're going to put it through the section that has no tie, and it will be from the inner hole to the inner hole. And so we'll put that through there, which means the tied off section will be at the back of the journal. And this way, the only tied off section in the middle of the journal is from the embroidery thread and not the elastic. Okay, so now you have to come back to the other side, and now that you have the journal in there, you want to tighten it up so that it's secure in there. You don't want to have a lot of give where it'll flop around. I made this 3 times the length. I didn't need to do it quite that large because, or that long, because of the stretch factor. Okay, so now I want to tie this off where this journal is not going to flop around. So I want to make it fairly tight, tie it off fairly tight. Okay, and so now we have this in the middle, but we don't have two ties going down the middle. And the reason you want the elastic that comes across the middle to be on the inner holes, the 2 inner holes, is so that there's less give in there for it to flop around. And then you just come back here, and I would leave, you know, maybe about an inch or so and cut it off. And so now it's securely in there. See, it's not going anywhere. And it's also not flopping around in there. And so now, I told you earlier I had kind of a surprise, something I was doing that was going to add a way for people to journal, because this is so heavily decorated. The only place a person can journal is on the ephemera that's tucked into the various envelopes. I want to give an extra way, so I have this little journalet that I made some while ago. It has this wonderful little dangle on it, and so it has plenty of pages in here for journaling. And I thought that the colorization and the feel of this just went perfectly with this, the style of this journal. So I'm going to open that up to the center, and I'm going to grab the section of the elastic that has a tie on it, and I'm going to slip this through. And add this secondary little journal into the overall envelope journal. Why aren't you wanting to slide through here? Oh, got my cover headed down underneath. That's why. Okay. So, see how that just kind of slipped in there just nicely. We have our main envelope journal here, and then we have this secondary journal we've added here. And so, like I said, you can remove it, you can replace it, you can do all kinds of things with the Midori style of bookmaking. I think that's really cool. And lastly, I was going to add a charm here. I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera so that I can show you the finished journal here, but also the other one I made as well, and not have this video take forever. I'll be right back. And so now it's time for the big reveal. I have two journals. This is the one that you've watched me making over the last 10 videos. And then this is the one here that I made quite some while ago, right at the beginning, after I had first decorated the cover. I went on and pretty much finished it. And so I'll reveal that one at the end. Let's take a look now at the one that we've been working on. This is Sari silk. I just cut off enough to wrap around twice. Just thought I'd add this little card on the outside. And here we have the main cover. And we open that up. And then we have our secondary cover inside, which is the same. And you open it up to this double spread, flip it over, and now we have a combination of several envelopes together in different sizes. So we have these two smaller ones, and we flip them open, and we have a pocket over here, and we pull out this really cool looking postcard. Of course, a lot more ephemera can be added. I'm just put in enough here to kind of fill it up to a degree. And on the other side, we lift up the pocket and we've got another card and a tag. And of course there's writing places on the reverse side. Then we flip open these two envelopes, and we have the full interior 4 spread, and we have a pocket over here, so we have another card in there that can be journaled on the back. This one cannot, but it's a really fun bookmark, and that has been tucked in here. There's no pockets here, but there is one over here, so we'll pull out. What we got in there is this nice big beautiful tag, which can be journaled on the reverse side. And from earlier, I did not have this. I have added this since I last showed you this particular spread. So then we close these up, and we close these up, and we flip it over, and now we have these envelopes on the left. So we flip that one open, and we have a pocket here and more ephemera. 2 tags, a large tag and a small one, and they of course can be used for journaling on the reverse side. We have my lovely humorous frog there that I love so much. And then we flip that over, and we have this envelope that has a flap that opens up, and inside here we have another tag and some pressed flowers in an envelope. And now we have a big opening envelope here. So let's see what's tucked inside there. We have some note paper for journaling. Very nice Japanese designs. We have this large card, which has a place for journaling on the reverse. And then these are the 2 pharmacy sacks that we cut and decorated. Here's one side, and that's the reverse side. And then we have this one, and that's the reverse of that. And so, these can hold a lot of goodies inside there. I didn't put anything in them for right now, but of course there's loads of places in this entire journal to tuck a whole bunch of great ephemera for journaling and other purposes. So that's what's inside the big envelope. Then we flip this over, and here's the back cover. Oh, sorry, this has to close up first, and then our back cover. And then we come to the secondary journal that I added, which I made, I don't know, sometime last year or the year before, and just had a bunch of them here and decided I would include them. They've got a little bit of stamping, some coffee dyeing, and it's just a fun little journal with plenty of places to write. And as I said before, this card is removable, and so is the journal itself. And then we come to the inside back, and that's it. Oh, I wanted to show you the dangles. This is the one I just added, I made this from, this is actually a jewelry finding that I put the paper on and then sealed it with acrylic, added a little light bulb, I don't know, what do you call that, a clip or something, and a couple of beads, and then tied that on. Nothing real too fancy. And then this journal here has one as well, which is pretty funky and neat, I think. So there you have that one. And I really have enjoyed making it. It's been quite a project and a challenge, and I hope you like it, and hopefully we're making one of your own as we went along. So we'll tie this one off, and then I'll show you the other one, and we will have this finished up. Before I do that, let me just quickly mention that I've made some lined pages that have some of the imagery from both journals, and this is available in my Etsy shop. So if you have an interest in acquiring any of that, perhaps you bought some of the other imagery already, but this gives you some pretty cool lined paper. And of course it can be printed on, I only printed it on one side, but if you get some, I would recommend you print it on both sides. And now to the reveal of the second journal. Again, this is tied with sari silk. And another little card. And I did show the cover of this being made. It's in the first, I think, 2 videos of the series. So if you want to see how that was done, I invite you to go watch those videos. There are links in the description box to all of the videos that make up this particular series. So please go and watch them if you have an interest. So this was the cover, and this of course is an image that was printed on fabric. That explains why it's a little more subdued than the fabrics on the perimeter. And so we did that, and then you open it up. This one, kind of the theme is butterflies and numbers. And so I've sprinkled a little of both throughout the journal. And this is the same, pretty much the same image that I had on the cover. This is how it looks printed on paper. And it's a definitely boho vibe, so I included this lovely lady. Here we have a window envelope with butterfly and some lace, and you open it up and we see this. Now this is kind of the reverse construction to the other journal. So we're running across these 2 smaller envelopes on the front end rather than the back end. So here's one of the pockets, and inside is this tag and some more pressed flowers. And that one can't be written on in the back, but nevertheless, I thought it went well with the journal. And then we flip it over, and this is our double spread that has the flip pocket. And so we open that up, and inside this envelope we have a postcard and another tag, and both can be journaled on in the reverse. And then here's the large envelope pocket, So let's see what goodies are in here. Here's some more of that beautiful Japanese writing paper. There's 2 sheets of that and the imagery. And then there's a advertising, well, it's a postcard, and of, you know, I just thought it was beautiful with the flowers and the colors, just all go so well with the whole vibe of this journal. Here's another handmade postcard, and well, instead of being a postcard, I made it from an index card. I had a bunch of these laying around for decades in my office, so I've incorporated them and sewed around the perimeter. And then these are the 2 pharmacy sacks that I decorated for this journal, and you can see how well they go with the whole theme and vibe of this boho journal. And so you open it up, there's the reverse side with the cute little birdies, and then here's this garden type. You open that up, and on the reverse side we have something that, you know, looks very well with that design there. So these are the ephemera that are being tucked inside the largest envelope, and we flip that over, and now we have this bigger double spread with the multiple envelopes. These are the 2 small envelopes, and what I did is I collaged the tops of those with all the various fabrics that I used on the front, plus a few others. You'll see that there's quite a few black and white ones over here, and here we've got maybe a little more blue. And here are the window envelopes. In the other journal, I covered over the windows, but in here, this journal, I left those there. That's green lace back there, and then these focal points added. So then you open this up, and we have a pocket over here. This is a pocket on top with a card inserted there, and then inside are 2 tags that can be journaled on the reverse side, and I thought the colors just went beautifully with what we got going on here. And then on this side, I created a pocket out of lace and tucked the card in there, so that's the image behind it, and then the card slips in front. And then inside this one is it could be a bookmark, or, you know, just a card. Some journaling can be done on the reverse side, and of course there's plenty of room to tuck way more in here than what I've got. So then we have these 2 envelopes, and we flip them over, and then here is the full open spread of the interior. And on this side, here is a pocket. Inside are 2 tags for more journaling. There are no pockets here, just straight design. And then on this side, we have another pocket full of butterflies. And so we have a butterfly card there for journaling, and another tag here. So we close that up, and we close this back up, and then we flip it over one more time, and we have, you know, kind of the conclusion of our boho lady here, and butterflies, flowers, lots of color, just a lot of personality to this journal. I really had fun with it. And here I have another secondary journal that I've tucked in as well. And this one, like the other one, was made some while ago, and I thought it just fit in perfectly with this particular journal. Lots of butterflies, some stamping, and a lot more pages for journaling. It's slightly different from the other one. And here's a dangle on that one. And then that's the inside back cover of that with, of course, lots of little ephemera tucked in here. Right, and then the only other thing is I put together this dangle for the inside. Again, has numbers, letters, and all the things that kind of just carry through the theme. Numbers and letters and butterflies and flowers and boho. So that's how this one ended up, and our back cover, and then the back. And that was the journal I did off camera. So I hope you've enjoyed this walk through my studio work, and I hope you learned something. I certainly did myself, and it was a challenge, and I'm just very happy with both journals. They each have their own unique personality and style and colors, and I just think it all came together very well. If you haven't watched the series, there are, oh no, I guess this is the 11th video. So look in the description box, all the links are there, and be sure and visit my Etsy shop for resources to help you with your projects. And yeah, be sure and like and comment. I would really love to hear from you, and when you like and share the video, it really helps the challenge, and I appreciate it so much, and request that you do so. Please give me a comment, give me some feedback, tell me what you think, what you liked, what you didn't like. I'm open to suggestions and would really value any input that you give me. So until I see you again, this is Miss Darling calling this a wrap. Bye-bye.